Most financial gurus tell you to save up to 6 months of expenses and call it a day. They call it a safety net, but a net only catches you when you fall. It doesn't help you lie, brothers. If you have 6 months of cash in the bank, you've only bought yourself 180 days of survival. On day 181, the clock hits 0 and you're back to where you started. A slave to the paycheck. The Freedom Brotherhood isn't about surviving, it's about winning, brothers. Today, we are moving past the emergency fund and talking about the only thing that actually grants a man true sovereignty, the Freedom Fund. I'm going to show you why most of you have already earned over $1 million and still have nothing to show for it, and how we're going to use that extra month of time to finally stop wishing for a better life and start doing the work to build one. Let's look at the math, brothers, that society hides in plain sight. If you are in your 30s and you've been working for 15 years, based on average income, you have likely already earned over $1 million. $1 million has literally passed through your hands, brothers. But where is it? It went to the landlord. It went to the bank. It went to the taxman. That $1 million didn't give you the freedom that you thought $1 million would. It kept you stuck. It was just enough to keep the lights on so you could show up for work again on Monday morning. You've been a millionaire for years, brothers. You were just the courier for everyone else's wealth. You carried the bag, but you weren't allowed to keep the gold. This isn't an accident. It's by design, brothers. I want you to take off the blinkers. The 40-hour work week isn't a law of nature. It was a strategy pioneered by the Rockefellers and the titans of the industrial age. They didn't want a nation of self-reliant men. They wanted a nation of predictable workers. The 40-hour week is a psychological sweet spot. It's long enough to drain your best energy, leaving you just tired enough at the end of the day that you don't have the strength to build your own dream, brothers. You come home exhausted. You recover in front of a screen and you go back to sleep. You're in a closed loop of recovery. The system gives you just enough to survive, but never enough to escape it. It keeps you a prisoner of the clock. A man in this brotherhood refuses to be a courier for another man's empire. The Freedom Fund isn't a bucket of water you sip from. It's a well you dig once so you never have to be thirsty again. But to dig that well, you need the tool the system tried to take from you. Time. When I showed you how to reclaim 2 hours a day, creating that extra month a year, I wasn't just giving you a productivity hack. I was giving you the raw materials of your liberation, brothers. Manifesting a better life is great for the vision, but doing the work is what actually breaks the locks. If you take those 2 hours and apply them to your own 15-hour work week, you stop being a passenger. You take back total control of your life, brothers. You stop wishing for a different reality and you start constructing the life you truly desire. But you have to be careful how you work. I remember reading the Cashflow Quadrant and it changed my life. Most men think the goal is just to own a business. But if you quit your job to start a service business where you do all the labor, you haven't found freedom, brothers. This is what Michael Gerber calls the E-myth. It's the fatal assumption that because you understand the technical work of a business, you understand how to build a business that works. If you aren't careful, you don't own a business, you own a job where you're the most exploited employee. You're still on the left side of the quadrant, brothers, trading your life force for every dollar. To build real freedom, you have to move to the right side of the quadrants, brothers. You have to become an architect of your systems. You need to build assets that function whether you are in the room or not. If your income stops the moment that you stop moving, you're just decorating your own cage, brothers. We do the work now to build the machines that buy our time back later. Building this is the hardest thing you will ever do because the entire world is designed to keep you tired, brothers, distracted and broke. This is exactly why we built the Freedom Brotherhood Skool community. We aren't just in there for motivation. We're in there for action. We share the actual blueprints for moving from technical worker to systems builder. We show you how to leverage that extra month of time to build assets that produce cash flow, not just more to-do lists. And we deep dive into this every single week on our free Wednesday night calls. This is where we break the cycle. We look each other in the eye, we hold the line, and we solve the problems that the 40-hour work week tried to make us too tired to handle. Stop being the courier for $1 million that never stays in your hands or your pockets, brothers. Go back and watch my video on reclaiming your 15-hour work week, your extra month, and click the link in the description to join our Skool community. It's free to join, and the Wednesday night calls are where we trade the 40-hour grind for limitless freedom through consistent, disciplined work. I'm looking for men who are ready to stop recovering and start building. Click the link, join the Brotherhood, get on the call this Wednesday. Let's build the life that you were meant for, brothers. Rise together, break free. I'll see you in the call. Rise up, stand tall, and own your life, brothers.